Hey Canucks fans, would you believe me if I told you that Alex Chiasson and Justin Dowling combined have more goals than JT Miller, Brock Besser, and Elias Pettersson combined? Sad but true. I'm Canuck Clay. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club. This is my Canucks take all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Friday, October the 29th. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Help me get to 8K. I'm less than 40 subscribers away, so I'm excited about that. Then that will trigger and launch an 8K giveaway. And as always, this vlog is brought to you by Perform and Transform Personal Training and Weight Loss. Sign up now for a free 7-day trial. Use the link in my video description. So I was at the game last night, as many of you know, and thank you to those of you who joined me for my very late night impromptu live stream last night. Had a lot of fun, despite the 2-1 loss to the visiting Philadelphia Flyers. And as I talked about last night, I liked the play of the defense. Halak, after a shaky start, letting in that first shot. I thought Hughes and Ekman-larsson and Shen, in particular, on the back end were good. But I was dismayed by the lack of firepower. The lack of offensive power being shown by the Canucks, not just last night, but for most of the season so far. And what's puzzling is when the Canucks made all these moves in the offseason, bringing in, yes, defensemen like Ekman-larsson and like Pullman, the thought was they're going to be a lot better up front with the additions of Connor Garland, with Podkolzin coming in and Jason Dickinson rounding out our top 9. And the thought was our goaltending was going to be fine, which it has been with Demko and Halak. Our defense was going to be a little shaky, which sometimes it has been, but it's overall been okay. And then our offense is supposed to be really good, and that hasn't happened. So through 8 games, Bo Horvat has the most goals. He has 4 goals, so 1 assist and 5 points. Connor Garland has 3 goals, plus 5 assists, 8 points. So Bo's 4 and 1 for 5. Garland's 3 and 5 for 8. So Horvat with 4, Garland with 3, and then Alex Chiasson and Justin Dowling with 2 apiece, along with Quinn Hughes. So those guys have 2. And then JT Miller, Elias Pettersson, Brock Besser, Tanner Pearson, many others, only 1 goal each. So yes, Dowling and Chiasson together have 4 goals. Pettersson, Miller, and Besser have 3 goals combined. Obviously, that's not a recipe for success. This new top 9, whatever order you put the guys in, and I think that's one of the problems, which I'll get to in a second. Whatever order you put them in, you have Petey, Besser, Miller, Garland, Horvat, Pearson, Hoglander, who doesn't have a goal yet this season, Podkolzin, and Dickinson. This is supposed to be the best top 9 that we've had in the past half a decade at least, and it still could very well be, but but it hasn't happened so far, and it's aggravating. It's aggravating. So I've come up with 5 quick reasons why I think that this is happening, and we'll kind of go from there. Actually, there are 5 or 6, so don't hold me to it. I might end up with only 4. I might end up with only 7. So number 1, rust. That's a big one. Pettersson missing all of last season. Oh, sorry, half of last season. Missing training camp. Basically coming in for a couple preseason games, and then you got to think that PD is still. It's both, right? It's rust, and now it's becoming more confidence. And PD did not look good last night. I was at the game, like I said, missing one-timers, losing pucks in his skates, turning the puck over at inopportune times. Just looks like right now it looks like a shell of his former self, and we expect more now that he's on a 3-year contract making $7.35 million. Besser, more engaged last night, but he's still a bit rusty. Remember, he missed the first 3 games of the season with an injury, and now he's back, but he hasn't really caught fire just yet. Connor Garland, he's been great. He's tied for a leading point getter with JT Miller, but only played 10.5 minutes last night, which is still a little bit perplexing to me. You think he's the one guy that you want out there trying to help turn things around. So number 1, so I don't put Garland in the rust category, but I certainly put Pettersson and Besser into the rust category. So that's number 1. Number 2, injuries. Injuries to guys like Tyler Mott, Brandon Sutter, Dickinson, one of those top 9, and Dowling. And in particular, Dickinson, Mott, and Sutter, you might think, well, that doesn't affect Besser, Pettersson, Horvat, Garland, Miller. It does. It does, because when you lose Dickinson and Dowling, both centers, now you only have 4 left on the roster, Miller, Petey, Horvat, and Lamico. And you have to play Petey as a 3rd-line center. So instead of stacking your first 2 lines, you have to go kind of spread out your center depth. And when the Canucks do stack their two lines, then someone like Höglander or Podkolzin, or in last night's case, Garland, doesn't get to see the minutes that he needs to see. So the injury is not an excuse, but a legitimate reason as to why I think the top 9 has had a tough time getting on track. And when you don't have Dickinson and Sutter in the lineup, that means Horvat has to play more matchup minutes as opposed to throwing those to Dickinson or Sutter. And then you have Horvat playing tougher minutes, and that's why he's being caved in the last 2 or 3 games when it comes to possession stats, because he's too busy trying to play defense, trying to check the other team's best center and best line. So number 1, rust. Number 2, injuries. Number 3, style of play. Last night I said too much dump and chase. With Pettersson, Besser, Miller, Horvat, Garland, you have good Höglander. You have really good puck handlers. But I don't know if it's because the Canucks are trying to push so much emphasis on defense. But when they get in the offensive zone, very rarely do you see the Canucks bring the puck over the line with speed. It's always dump and chase, dump and chase, dump to the corner, chase the puck to the corner. And yes, the Canucks have speedy players, but I wouldn't say they're the best forecheckers. They're not the most tenacious forecheckers. I'd rather take my chances of seeing them try and beat a guy. And if you can't beat the guy, fine, then dump it in. But don't just look at the dump in as your default, as your first option. I would love to see the Canucks try and be more creative entering the zone. So that's number 3 is their strategy on offense, especially entering the zone. Part and parcel of that creativity, number 4, is the power play. If we can score 1 power play goal a night, even 2, wouldn't that be amazing? Then some of these 1-goal losses are going to be they're going to be wins. Because the Canucks are going to either win the game in regulation or get it to extra time at least and then have a shot at winning there. But when you're going 0 for 5, 0 for 4 repeatedly on the power play, it's just frustrating because there's so many creative players on there. You got to get Besser onto power play 1, move Chase on down, or Miller and Hughes spend too much time playing pass to each other. Move the puck down, use the bumper spot, use the net front spot, and at least create some chances. Because if Petey's one-timer's not going and Miller's not effective from his side, then use some other guys. And get the pucks to the net somehow. So that's number 4. It's the power play. And I think overall, I had 5, and I think I just combined a bunch of them. So it was rust, it was injuries, it was offensive strategy, it was the power play. Yeah, I think I combined a couple. Oh, yeah. I remember. When I was talking about injuries, I was supposed to separate injuries and then guys basically... Oh, no. Number 5, line juggling. So this is kind of tricky because Green admitted that he's looking for chemistry. He's looking for lines that can play together well. Whenever the Lotto line gets together, they're actually not producing. But then do you want PD playing as a third center? So, or at least that's the way they're listed on paper. So with that, this does go hand in hand with the injuries though. With Mott, Sutter, Dickinson all out, then you're not having lines that you can roll with every single game. Because it seems like and then Highmore got injured yesterday, so it seems like there's always someone new in the lineup or someone new going out, or at least those things are combined. So I think once the Canucks are healthier, that will lead to more consistent lines, that will lead to more chemistry and more goal scoring. So Canucks fans, there are 5 reasons for you. I would love to know yours. Tell me which ones stand out to you and which ones you'd say maybe aren't a factor, and maybe there's a few that I've missed. But the 5 factors why I think the Canucks are struggling so badly on offense are rust, are injuries, are lack of creativity entering the zone, too much dump and chase, lack of creativity and urgency on the power play, and then of course no consistent lines. Let me know which ones resonate with you. Leave a comment below and I'd love to know. Shout out to my hero members, nucksfan number 29, Justin Credible, Lucas Gates, and Andrew Chang, and my Hall of Fame members, Jens95, simalexander, Chris Seifried, Adam Broomfield, Shannon Hollingworth, and Carol Bovenlander. Thanks for your support, and thanks to the support of all members of all levels. You're listed in my video descriptions. If you want to become a member of the CCC Crew, press the join button underneath this during my videos on the memberships tab on my YouTube channel. Subscribe if you'd like to, like this video if you'd like to, become a member of the channel if you'd like to, leave a comment down below if you'd like to. What are your main reasons, concerns, why the Vancouver Canucks offense is struggling so badly? Let me know, and I'll do my best to redirect, reply, as always. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. Have a great day, God bless, and go Canucks go.